Good Monday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. In today's video, I'll be tracking heavy rainfall and flash flooding across the Ohio and Tennessee river valleys through this week, as well as some heavy snow setting up across the Midwest and the Great Lakes heading into the Northeast as we head into this upcoming weekend into early next week, followed by a polar vortex disruption event as we get into the second and third weeks of December. If you guys are new to the channel and have yet to subscribe, definitely hit the subscribe button down below, everyone, and the notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates on this channel. I cover Canada, the United States, and the tropics, so definitely hit that subscribe button down below, everyone, and the notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates on this channel. Looking here, first of all, this morning at the visible satellite imagery setting up across the United States, we have a very strong subtropical jet starting to feed in to the southern and central plains, and this will actually push eastward into the Tennessee and Ohio river valleys as we head through the day today, getting in through the middle of the week and even late week here this week as well. And you can definitely see on this visible satellite imagery that we have all this moisture here trailing in from the eastern Pacific Ocean. That is our moisture source for which we'll see some very heavy rainfall and flash flooding as we head through the week here this week across the Ohio and Tennessee river valleys. So here starting off today, you can definitely see those 250 millibar winds out of that subtropical jet will be screaming in from the west-southwest here as we head into the middle of the country this afternoon. That will continue and strengthen as we head into that Tuesday, Wednesday, and even Thursday time frame. You can definitely see some maroon reds and even some purple shaded colors here. That's about 140 to 150 millibar jet stream that will, or not, jet stream that will be actually starting to race in from the west-southwest here from the eastern Pacific and into the middle of the country as we head towards the middle of this week. Temperatures here this afternoon will be very cold. We have teens and 20s for highs across the Dakotas, getting into Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, and that trails off back west here across Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, and the Pacific Northwest. Meanwhile, we have very warm temperatures across Texas, getting into Oklahoma and the immediate Gulf Coast here this afternoon. That will continue as we head towards Tuesday and even Wednesday as well, going into your Wednesday, December 7th. A lot of cold temperatures up to the north with all that polar vortex air actually trapped mainly into southern Canada. But to the south, we have a stationary boundary setting up with that subtropical jet bringing in all that warmer air with temperatures in the 60s, 70s, and even some 80s down here across coastal Texas, getting into Louisiana, southern Mississippi, and southern portions of Alabama as we head towards the middle of this week on your Wednesday. Also here as we get towards the Monday time frame here this afternoon, we definitely have a lot of moisture here. These precipitable water values in the greens and purple shaded colors are actually going to be trailing in from the eastern Pacific Ocean into the southern United States and the southeast, bringing all of this widespread heavy rainfall here from Texas into Arkansas and much of Tennessee and Kentucky here as we head into the day tomorrow. And even on Wednesday, this is where it really maximizes here across the Arklatex area, getting back here into the Ohio and Tennessee river valleys. We definitely have these darker greens and darker purples and blues showing up. That is our precipitable water values over an inch, and that's definitely what we could squeeze out of the atmosphere here per day here across these areas. And you can definitely see here that stationary boundary setting up across these areas from North Texas, getting into southeastern Oklahoma, much of Arkansas, and really here kind of taking aim on portions here of Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, getting into Kentucky and West Virginia as well as we head through the middle of this week. Going through the next 5 days, going all the way from today through the early stages of this upcoming weekend on your Saturday, December 10th, we could be talking about multiple inches of rainfall here from West Virginia, getting into portions of Kentucky, Tennessee, back into northern Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma, southern Missouri. Some of these areas could be over 3 inches of rainfall, really centered on Kentucky and Tennessee, where these red shaded colors are showing up. That's where we could see over 3 inches of rainfall. And I'm not even ruling out the potential to see up to around 6 inches of rainfall potentially over the next 5 days here as we get in towards that time frame. Looking here as well, we got definitely that slight risk for excessive rainfall here from the Weather Prediction Center across southern portions of Tennessee, northeastern Mississippi, northern Alabama, and northern portions there of Georgia. And that will continue as well as we get into the day on Tuesday. We definitely have a marginal risk across portions of middle and eastern Tennessee, getting into southern portions of Kentucky and northern Georgia there as well. I do feel, though, this will start to expand and also here get upgraded to potentially a slight or even a moderate risk for excessive rainfall as we get a little bit closer here towards the middle of this weekend, your Tuesday, Wednesday, and even possibly on Thursday as well. So understanding what these excessive rainfall categories are, so we have that marginal to slight risk for excessive rainfall. That means isolated to scattered flash flooding as possible, mainly localized. We definitely have the most vulnerable areas being those urban areas with a lot of concrete here around those big cities such as Nashville, getting up toward the Lexington, Kentucky areas, those roads, small streams, and those washes. Isolated significant flash floods are possible in that slight risk category, so that will be something to watch as we get into Kentucky and Tennessee moving forward. But after that, we have that polar vortex up to the north here, staying bottled up to the north in Canada. Definitely, you can see with those purple shaded colors all the way up into portions here of northern Ontario, northern Quebec, but we have all those warmer temperatures to the south, a little bit of some cold air across the Pacific Northwest as we head toward late this week. But as we get into that Friday timeframe on December 9th, we'll start to see a little bit of that southern edge of that polar vortex starting to stretch down toward the upper Midwest and the upper Great Lakes region, and that will be just enough shallow cold air to provide the threat for some heavier snows as we head towards late this week into this upcoming weekend. So you can see here as we head into Thursday, December 8th, all that cold air up to the north. We got below zero high temperatures across much of northern Manitoba, northern Ontario, and northwestern Quebec. We got all that cold air across the upper Midwest, trailing back into the west coast. That will continue as we head into Friday. Again, we have a shallow layer of colder air. We have low to mid 30s for highs across portions of northern Illinois, eastern Iowa, getting up into portions of southern Wisconsin, and again some colder air a little bit farther off to the north and west, and that will be just enough cold air to produce some snowfall across this area late this week. So tracking this here using the Canadian forecast model here, I do think this is the best depiction here of what I do think will play out as we head toward late this week. We have the rainfall to the south where the temperatures are over 32 degrees and really into the 40s, I think, across downstate Illinois into Missouri here into Kansas. Just going to be too warm for any or for any snowfall or any freezing rain or sleet or anything like that. So we'll have liquid precipitation across those areas. Maybe a mixed zone of some freezing rain and sleet, maybe some snow in there as well across western Iowa, getting into southern portions of Nebraska on your Thursday, December 8th. But then as this moves to the northeast, we'll have a little bit of more of that cold air to work with across the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes on your Friday morning on December 9th. And we could be seeing a band of some heavier snow in a narrow zone across northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, much of Iowa, getting into southwestern lower Michigan as well. And then that will start to move off its way to the east toward the Toronto area, and then getting back here into western New York and into central Pennsylvania as we head into the overnight hours on Friday and into your Saturday. So looking here at the snowfall amounts potential here through as we get toward late this week. Again, don't take these amounts verbatim, but definitely we could be seeing multiple inches of snowfall here from central Iowa through northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, and southern lower Michigan as well. I couldn't even rule out a potential of this to kind of wobble its way north or south. This is a fairly narrow zone, so this could wobble a couple counties north or south here the next couple of days, so we'll continue to monitor that. But yeah, definitely some healthy snows out there of 2 to 4, maybe 5 inches across most of these areas. As we get a little bit closer here, we'll start to fine tune this. Looking here as well at the Canadian forecast models ensemble, it does kind of paint that picture that, yeah, that narrow zone of snowfall is going to be found somewhere across Iowa into northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, then trailing over there toward the lower Great Lakes and the northern Ohio Valley. So that's what we'll continue to watch as we get closer. But again, to remind you of the winter precipitation and how it works here is that when you have the cold air from top to bottom in the atmosphere, from the surface all the way up to 10, 20, 30,000 feet here, you definitely have all snow. Now we have a shallow layer of warmer air just above the surface here, a few thousand feet. That's where we have sleet, and then it kind of melts down a little bit, and that's where we have the sleet. We have freezing rain where it's very cold above here. You have snowflakes starting out in the cloud. And then we have that warm nose from that low-level jet here, impinging on the atmosphere from the surface all the way up here to just about, 10,000 feet or so. And that's where we have that freezing rain here and, ice starting to form here on contact. And then, of course, rainfall here from top to bottom with the warmer air from the surface all the way up here to the base of the cloud. So that is kind of what we're looking at with the precipitation types here with these systems. But as we get toward the middle of December into the following week on Tuesday, December 13th, and Wednesday, December 14th, we'll have a big area of cold air start to move southward into the United States, this time dropping south towards portions of the central and potentially southern plains and even the mid-south as well as we get into that Tuesday time frame. And that really expands as we head into Wednesday. This could drop all the way southward, potentially here to that freezing line, getting all the way south towards the Gulf Coast states and to central Texas, into central Georgia, maybe getting into North Florida as well as we get toward the very middle of December. You could definitely see that here with that very large dip in the jet stream here. We definitely have all that cold air starting to move southward here with that polar vortex as we get toward the middle of the month here on your Tuesday, December 13th and Wednesday, December 14th. And this could lead to another storm system as well as we get into that time frame, bringing some more snow. But looking here at your Monday, December 12th, going into early the following week, this is a week from today, and you can see all that cold air across southern Canada getting into the portions here of the Intermountain West, the northern plains, and the upper Midwest. And then that will start to drop southward a little bit farther as we head into Tuesday, December 13th, with some 20s being shown across Kansas, Missouri, getting into Illinois, and maybe into northern New Mexico as well. You got those single-digit high temperatures here into northeastern Montana, getting into North Dakota, and into portions of southern and southwestern Canada. And then looking here at the long-term weather forecast, going from the third week into the last week here in December, toward the second half of December, from December 17th through the 30th time frame here, we have below normal temperatures being favored across much of the northern and central United States during that period, as well as some above normal precipitation across the Pacific Northwest and then across the Great Lakes region, which could lead to more snowfall, especially with the colder than normal temperatures out there. So that will lead to more snowier weather across those areas, where we have some drier conditions from Southern California through southern Arizona, southern New Mexico, getting into Texas here and the Mid-South as we kind of finish off the second and third weeks here in December. But like I said, as we get into the middle of the month of December, we're going to have that large dip in the jet stream here, bringing down that polar vortex air here farther south in the United States. And that could set up another stronger storm system that could here kind of move on the left exit region of this jet stream, and could develop maybe here a deformation snow band across the Midwest into the western Great Lakes, somewhere toward the middle or end here of December. So we'll continue to watch that. Again, here from December 15th through the 31st here, this is my thoughts on the storm track. I do think a lot of these low pressure systems will start to originate somewhere across the lee side of the Rockies and then move across the lower Missouri Valley through the central Ohio Valley. To the north of that track, you'll have snowfall, and to the south of that track, you'll have rainfall. And right in between where that track is, I do expect more ice events with potentially some sleet and freezing rain and all precipitation types coming together somewhere across the Missouri Valley and in towards portions of the Ohio Valley as well during that time frame. And looking toward the middle of the month, with all that cold air dropping south, there's no surprise that we have some more heavier snowfall potential on the way towards portions of Iowa, Minnesota, the Dakotas, maybe as far south here this time here as northern Missouri, northern portions of Kansas. And then we have all liquid precipitation farther south into portions of Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, and getting into Louisiana, where we have warmer temperatures, and that will translate a little bit farther to the east. Maybe some severe weather coming back. We'll have to wait and see on that. But again, a lot of snowfall here starting to pile up across the Great Lakes and the upper Midwest, and that will trail into the Northeast as we get towards the middle of December. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely appreciate it. Again, if you like this video, definitely drop the like down below. That's the thumbs up button. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. I'll get to those later on today. And most importantly, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It definitely helps out here. Thank you guys for all the new subscribers out there. Definitely appreciate it. Also, hit that notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates here on this channel. Have a great Monday, everyone. A great start to your work week, and I'll see you all in the next video.